Call me Neoblade. This is Bronx to Masters for Protoss, and with me is Varen. Hi, Varen.
Hey guys. So yeah, this is again PvT, the third game against sargpain, and we're playing again on Cyberforest. And as I said before, this is a very small map, and it's very easy to scout your opponent early in the game. And as you notice, I'm changing up the build a little bit this game.
Okay.
It's actually a gateway first, because this is where we're doing the 2-gas builds basically. And I think gateway first blends in with 2-gas a lot more nicely than Nexus first does. And it's still a relatively easy build to do.
It's a build we will play in at least Diamond, because we will play Neo Mamba style then, with 3 Zealot attack and charge and stuff like that. There's the command center on the high ground again, and there's the first Reaper we will see.
Yep.
So right now you're saving your probe back to home. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this
now against a better player, my probe probably would have died because I sent it home a little late. But because his Rex was delayed since I harassed his SCVs, you can look at his base round and there's 4 SCVs that are all damaged, right? One is almost dead, and all the others are in the yellow. So the amount of micro he had to do just because I was there with my probe and I was annoying is already pretty large.
Yeah, and it's a good way to train your mental checklist, which I recommend in the Staircase Step 3 at least. But of course you should balance your micro and your macro.
Definitely.
And we re-scout the front with a Stalker like we always did. And you see there's the command center is ready, but it's not on the low ground. Oh, he loses his Reaper. Okay.
So right now I attack the reactor because the reactor, while it's building, is the only building that can't be repaired. And if he isn't careful, I can kill that reactor, and that'd be pretty huge for me. At home, I got a robotics facility because with 2-gas, I can afford a tech building a lot earlier. So I'm building observers, and I'm going to send them to scout across the map. And also, I'm going to use a lot of observers instead of pylons this game because they're a little more reliable and they cost less minerals.
Okay. If the reactor is done, he could repair it, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Losing this was a mistake, but even if he's repairing it, he's forced to leave SCVs on there, which gives me more time to kill SCVs or Marines with the 2 Stalkers.
Okay.
But this is, this is very multitasking intensive, and you guys probably
should do it, and you should start with it in Platinum or...
Exactly, yeah. It's just to demonstrate what kind of damage 2 Stalkers can do if your opponent isn't careful. And now you can see I'm establishing map vision a lot earlier with the observer up there and then putting a second one under that. So I'm basically just keeping constant observer production while I'm getting my bases. The build is still pretty similar. Aside from that, instead of the forge, we basically just got the robo. We got 3 gates, then we built the 3rd nexus. We got the Twilight Council for a charge, and now we're getting more gateways and building more observers.
Yeah. Oh.
Now, one thing I will say is, with the observer that I have at his base, I could probably pull my 2 Stalkers home because I can see exactly when he moves out. Yeah. But yeah, I just left them there for no good reason, honestly.
On the other hand, you didn't lose Stalkers to a stim push, as we have seen on Kairos. Check the last video, or so yeah. This is really, really good map vision. And I strongly recommend that you start building, I don't know, 4 observers or even 6 if you...
I think I'm going up to 7 or 8 even this game, I'm not sure.
Because if you get dropped and you lose a complete economy to Widowmine drop or other drops, then these observers, if you see a drop incoming using observers, it's almost every time worth the cost of an observer.
And since we were playing with 2 gases this time, I was able to afford double forge a little bit later into the game because I'm not going to build as many Stalkers. I'm warping a couple right now because I see a Banshee moving out, and this is a mistake that I made. I probably should have added cannons a little bit earlier in every base, 1 in each mineral line. I'm doing that right now. But technically, if he was a little bit better about his micro, he could have killed a lot of troops here.
Yeah, and because his attack, his second base was delayed very much. So he does not research cloak. So this is it's good for us. On the other hand, we have a lot of observers. I like that
now I have the cannons up.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's gonna be the exact same thing again. I built a forward gateway here, but I probably could have built a prism as well. Might have been the better option.
In the low leagues I would do both. So you can always, sometimes you lose the forward pylon, sometimes you lose the war prism, and yeah, no, he's a little bit sad.
Yeah, I mean, understandable. I basically stole 3 games from him in order to get those replays for the series. But yeah, again, you can see I'm building a couple more gateways. This time I'm not up to 15 yet, but I have 10 gateways up and running, and I'm adding 3 more, which is basically enough to sustain 4 bases. One thing I will say, if you guys feel like you're already very confident on this step and you want to step up a little bit more, instead of building like 8 observers, you could build 7 and then you build a prism, or you can get the prism a little earlier. And then right before you attack his front, you fly in the prism into the main and just unload 4 zealots or warp in a couple, and then you do your main attack, right, to pull him out of position. But I think this is a little more advanced, and probably doing this before platinum or diamond is maybe a little bit too much. But if you feel like you can handle it, definitely try it out. It's a fun way to make a lot of Terrans very mad.
Yeah, I strongly recommend using this technique if the opponent establishes a third base, because the third base, in this instance, if there would be bunkers and tanks and stuff like that, this small choke is a little bit difficult to engage. But let's assume he would build his third base like we did in the north. I'm showing it here. Then you can do a major A move attack on this third base, and when he defends his third base, you can easily warp in a lot of zealots in his main base. And 2-prong attacks are always working in the lower leagues. They almost do critical damage to an opponent.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you very much. So if you don't want to add something, I would say we see the guys next time.
Yep, see you guys next time. Bye bye.